Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news. Now folks, it's a tough day for Browns fans everywhere. The Cleveland Browns, a team that's been building momentum, making strides, and really showing that they are serious contenders this season, just took a huge hit on defense. And I'm talking about the kind of injury that could shake up their entire campaign for 2025. It's no secret that the Browns' defense has been a growing force, especially with players like Martin Emerson Jr. emerging as key contributors. But now, with the news that Emerson Jr. likely suffered a season-ending Achilles tear during practice, everything is suddenly up in the air. And let's be honest, this is a blow that's hard to overstate. So how did it happen? Well, it was during a routine practice session, nothing out of the ordinary when tragedy struck. Emerson Jr., the talented cornerback who's been making waves over the last few seasons, was covering wide receiver Diontae Johnson on a go route. It was a play that looked like any other, players running, trying to make a play, the intensity high. But then, in a split second, everything changed. Emerson Jr. went to plant his leg to make the coverage, and that's when he fell to the ground in pain. Scene was quite emotional to watch. He immediately took off his helmet and threw it in frustration, clearly upset and frustrated with what had just happened. The medical team rushed onto the field, and Emerson Jr. was carted off, his lower left leg visibly injured. The images of him being helped off the field were tough to watch, especially knowing how much he's grown as a player. Now, from what we're hearing from NFL insiders like Mike Garafolo, the injury appears to be a serious Achilles tear. He's going to undergo imaging to determine the full extent, but the expectation is that it's significant enough to sideline him for the entire season, if not longer. Achilles injuries are notoriously difficult, especially for athletes in their prime, and the recovery process can be long and arduous. For Emerson Jr., a 24-year-old who's just entering the peak years of his career, this is a devastating setback. Just last season, he posted a career-best 4 interceptions, showing how much he's developing as a top-tier cornerback. His performance in 2023 was nothing short of impressive, finishing second on the team with 80 tackles, and really establishing himself as a cornerstone of Cleveland's defensive backfield. And this couldn't come at a worse time for Emerson Jr. He's entering the final year of his rookie contract, which means he's about to hit the open market as one of the league's promising young defenders. An injury like this not only affects his season, but could also impact his future contract negotiations and long-term stability. It's a harsh reality in the NFL. One moment you're on the rise, and the next you're fighting to come back from an injury that could define your career. But for the Browns, losing a player of Emerson Jr.'s caliber is a huge blow to their secondary. He played a key role in their pass defense, and his absence will be felt no matter how talented the rest of the roster is. Now, let's take a broader look at what this means for Cleveland's defense moving forward. The Browns have been making impressive strides on that side of the ball, especially with their cornerbacks and safeties stepping up. Players like Denzel Ward, who's been a solid presence in the secondary, will now need to shoulder even more responsibility. The coaching staff will likely have to shuffle things around, perhaps giving more playing time to younger or less experienced players, or even shifting some safeties into cornerback roles temporarily. This situation emphasizes how crucial depth is in the NFL. One injury can cascade into a series of adjustments that can either make or break a team's season. And it's not just about the immediate impact. Emerson Jr.'s injury also raises questions about the Browns' draft strategy and roster management moving forward. Will they look to add more depth at cornerback in the upcoming draft or free agency? How will this affect their game plan against top offenses? Opposing quarterbacks will certainly try to exploit the secondary now, knowing that Cleveland might not have the same shutdown ability without Emerson Jr. patrolling the field. It's a challenge, no doubt, but it also presents an opportunity for other players to step up, prove their worth, and help the Browns stay competitive in a division that's always fiercely contested. Let's not forget that the AFC North is one of the toughest divisions in the NFL. You've got teams like the Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals, all hungry to claim supremacy. The Browns have been building a strong identity this season, focused on a balanced offense led by Deshaun Watson and a stout defense that's been improving game by game. But losing a key player like Emerson Jr. can test that identity. It's a moment where leadership, resilience, and depth are truly put to the test. The Browns' coaching staff will need to rally the troops, devise new schemes, and find ways to fill the void left by Emerson Jr. if the injury is confirmed as season-ending. Now, this situation also shines a light on the importance of player health and injury prevention. Achilles injuries are becoming all too common across professional sports. They're a tough break for any athlete, and the recovery process often involves months of rehabilitation. For Emerson Jr., that means a long road back with plenty of ups and downs along the way. It's a reminder of how fragile NFL careers can be and how every play, every practice, and every game matters so much. Every fan hopes for a full recovery, and hopefully we'll see Emerson Jr. back stronger than ever, ready to reclaim his spot in the Browns' secondary. What's also interesting is how this injury could influence the team's roster decisions in the coming weeks. Will Cleveland explore trade options or look to sign free agents to bolster the cornerback room? The front office will have to act quickly if they want to maintain that defensive integrity that's been a hallmark of their recent success. The coaching staff will need to adapt, possibly giving more opportunities to younger players or rotating different personnel to compensate for the loss. The challenge now is turning adversity into an opportunity, showing that the Browns have the depth, talent, and resilience to keep pushing forward. And let's talk about the fans for a moment. The Cleveland faithful are passionate, loyal, and always ready to support their team through thick and thin. Yes, today's news is disappointing, but the spirit of Browns Nation is unbreakable. Every season brings its ups and downs, and injuries are unfortunately part of the game. But the real measure of a team is how they respond to setbacks like this. The players, the coaching staff, and the fans, everyone has a role in keeping the hope alive. And I know that Browns fans will rally around their team, trust the process, and believe that brighter days are ahead. In terms of the season ahead, this injury could be a defining moment. It might force the Browns to tweak their defensive schemes, maybe rely more on their safeties or the other cornerbacks to step up. It's a test of character, depth, and strategic planning. The good news is that Cleveland's roster has some promising talent, and players like Denzel Ward are still around to anchor the secondary. But losing Emerson Jr. is a blow that will be felt, especially in critical matchups where pass defense is key. The AFC North is filled with explosive offenses, and facing teams like the Ravens or Bengals will require every defensive weapon to be firing on all cylinders. Looking ahead, the Browns are still very much in the playoff hunt, and this injury doesn't define their season. It's a setback, no question, but one that can be overcome with the right mindset and adjustments. The coaching staff will have to innovate, perhaps giving opportunities to younger players or shifting their defensive looks to compensate. And for the players, it's about stepping up and showing that they can thrive even when faced with adversity. That's what makes football so compelling: the resilience, the grit, and the unyielding desire to win. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. Remember to subscribe and share this video with your fellow fans because together, we keep the passion alive, no matter what challenges come our way. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Browns.